Now, after a year of sweeping reforms, President Bola Tinubu says the Nigerian economy is stabilizing, inflation is easing, and security is improving. In his New Year message, the president painted a picture of recovery and renewed hope, a country slowly turning the corner after difficult but necessary choices. But across the streets, markets, motor parks, and homes, many citizens are asking where the change is. In this story, Just Nigeria's Mercy Frank takes President Tinubu's 2025 scorecard off the podium onto the streets, testing government's claims against expert analysis and lived realities of everyday Nigerians.
At the start of 2026, the Nigerian government said its reforms are working. Nigerians ask, where is the change?
I do not see the government meeting my needs. Rather, it's adding burden to me.
We had progress on the macro level, and we are waiting for it to transmit into people's pockets.
December 2025 was the first December in about 7 years that there were no fuel queues, there was no fuel scarcity.
So it's a make or mar year for Nigeria. Whether Nigeria wants to or not, it must address its security challenges. Failure to do that means the United States will be breathing down the Nigerian neck.
Exactly 1 year ago, President Bola Tinubu promised Nigerians relief. He said food would become more affordable, inflation would fall sharply, and living standards would improve. Then comes 2026, and the president's New Year message paints a picture of recovery, steady growth, and improved security. To understand what President Tinubu's receipts mean in real life, Just Nigeria took a trip to northwestern Kano State, where Ladidi Adamu, a mother of 5 and a civil servant with multiple side businesses, lives and works.
In this northwest and north central, north in particular, we don't have peace. Insecurity everywhere, kidnappers, Boko Haram. We can't travel.
1,000 kilometers away in Port Harcourt, capital of Southern Rivers State, is Blessing Eze. Her entire family depends on the revenue her roadside food business generates.
It was tough because as you can see, rain is beating me. I'm looking for money to buy this big umbrella that will help me when rain comes. You can see I ran into another person's shade.
In southwestern Oyo State, Ebuwomo Adeniran, an unemployed graduate who transited into mobile money agent and petty trader, tells her own tale.
The stamp duties imposed on the transaction was a bit hard. So some customers, when they're about to do above 10,000 naira, it is hard for them to include the 15 naira stamp duties. So it is more or less a shortage or less on the profits on the sales for the year.
Though separated by distance and languages, these 3 Nigerians are bound by a single thread: the cost of being Nigerian. In his latest message, President Tinubu presented a scorecard of tangible and measurable gains from 2025. From fiscal reset to people-friendly and steady economic progress, analysts test them against facts and lived realities. During 2025, we sustained the momentum on our major reforms.
2 have been implemented, 1 is now being implemented, talking about subsidy removal, and the second one has to do with exchange rate unification.
We can see that because of the output from Dangote refineries, we had a lot of increase in fuel supply.
We recorded tangible and measurable gains, particularly in the economy.
I believe we did on the macro level, but we are still waiting for individuals to feel it.
The pain of high price in PMS as a result of subsidy removal still bites hard on the heart of many Nigerians.
We had a steady economic progress. Looking closer, Nigeria recorded robust GDP growth in every quarter of 2025.
it refers to GDP. GDP has grown beyond 3% at about 3.9% in 2025. The projection for 2024 is over 4%. When you consider all of this, they can be said to be part of the economic progress of Nigeria. But beyond the GDP numbers, we also want to look at what is happening to per capita income. In dollar terms,
Nigeria maintained trade surpluses and achieved greater exchange rate stability.
Yes, we did. The data, we have to rely on data. And we also see that a lot of Nigerians have gotten into exporting. We also see that our diaspora inflows are coming in.
2025, we have seen relative stability in Naira. Fluctuation is completely off the Naira to dollar exchange rate. So that could become, as it has to do with fluctuation, it's an improvement. But the value of Naira is what still concerns many Nigerians.
Perhaps the Borders claim was bringing inflation down below 15% by the end of 2025.
There was a time when you would go to the market in the morning and you would buy something for 5 naira. And if you come back in the evening of that same stock, like the person had 100 of that thing, by evening, the person will be selling it at 6 naira 50 kobo. That kind of spike where it becomes almost like a panic move has slowed down.
But in the real sense, prices are still high because most of the effect that we have seen in inflation is called the base year effect.
According to the government, Nigeria closed the year with foreign reserves of $45.4 billion, enough to shield the Naira from external shocks.
Imagine we have produced all the PMS diesel we consume in Nigeria if we have made them locally. What do you think will happen to our reserve? We have potential to grow that reserve to $80 billion.
On paper, the economy seems to show a sign of an upward tick.
Using those parameters, the answer will be yes. But when you use other parameters, which includes poverty level, World Bank says Nigerian poverty is 135 million to 139 million people. The report released in the first week of January 2026, PwC is projecting 140 million people for poverty. So this gain is at what cost?
But the bigger question remains, how resilient is this growth against Nigeria's persistent struggle against insecurity?
We compared fatalities as well as the rate of abduction in 2025 compared to 2024. Unfortunately, the difference is not that much. So as an example, we recorded over 10,000 fatalities in 2024. We also recorded the same over 10,000 in 2025. We recorded about 8,000 abductions in 2024. We also recorded the same level of abduction in 2020. The difference is less than 10% for both fatalities and for abduction in 2025. There was a reduction of about less than 10% in the two major metrics.
President Tinubu points to gains such as sustained military operations, international cooperation, and decisive action against terrorist targets, especially in the Northwest and Northeast.
What are the metrics that Nigerians will use to measure success? If today I can start my car and drive from here to Enugu State without any fear that I will encounter kidnappers in Kogi, Nigerians will feel secure.
But insecurity goes beyond military offensives. With millions of families displaced and forgotten in camps, data shows the cycle of economic disruption and long-term poverty becomes a loop. President Tinubu promises to impact the grassroots through his Renewed Hope World Development Program. There are questions of how realistic this goal is after several global aid cuts.
I think it's a very good opportunity and I think it's possible. The biggest risk will be us not holding our councillors accountable at world level.
Whether that will be sufficient to combat poverty or not, or it will just be a transfer payment to people or a conditional cash transfer, the plan is not yet clear.
Government does not get to tell us that they have helped us. We are the ones that get to tell them this is where the shoe was pinching, and truly it has been alleviated now.
Just Nigeria tests President Tinubu's promises on the streets.
I would want the government to first of all fix the insecurity in Nigeria.
We cannot suck a blood of a poor man, now taxing him more and more and more.
We shouldn't depend on federal government for everything.
The present economic situation the financial aspect is affecting most of us business owners.
Far so good. The government was able to do some things for me.
They should face this national grid that is always falling. They should make it stand once and for all.
Create loan scheme, for the poor people to be able to access with minimal interest.
Government's 2026 promises to Nigerians are now in black and white. Experts measure how realistic they are and what needs to change.
It is unhealthy to put a lot of confidence in the price of a commodity that you are not a major stakeholder in determining its price, to plan your entire country budget or to determine how much of your foreign reserves you would have.
The more we are able to get the infrastructure that supports people to produce more, then the more likely we are, or the faster we are able to get out of this situation.
Clearly, the president is running for second term. The people will also be watching out on the outcome of the president's policies. For instance, how is the new tax regime impacting their lives?
With Nigeria's population estimated to hit 240 million by the end of 2026, experts say there are key developments to watch out for.
As against looking to the president to give promises, we are supposed to be looking at things like the appropriation bill and the revenue targets and what they want to deploy that money to.
This participatory government we've been talking about for the longest, now is the time, this is the opportunity. And because it is an electioneering year, our leaders are more willing to listen to us.
Programs like the Renewed Hope World Development Program to target people who need it. Everything must not be for political affiliation or political benefit.
While President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria is on the right path, many Nigerians like Ladidi, Blessing and Ebuomo say 2026 will tell whether the hope the president is peddling becomes reality or just another string of headlines. Analysts warn that without measurable action, this same conversation might return in 2027. Mercy Frank, Gist Nigeria.
Well, do you think 2026 will bring positive change to Nigerians or just mere headlines? Let us know on our X handle at Gist Nigeria TV. Would like to hear from you.